Hello guys, and welcome to this video. Now this is just kind of a short postscriptum to the last video about dog breeding being animal abuse. Now I just watched a documentary that is called Pedigree Dogs Exposed, and it was a documentary by the BBC. It's more than 15 years old, the documentary. And I got to that documentary by another YouTube channel, which is called The Defenders of Humans and the Natural World. I also feature that channel, like in my channel description. Check her channel out. She really has an awesome channel with loads of videos, and her videos are mostly about statistics, scientific facts, and extremely interesting contexts and connections. And she also has a fantastic voice, so you don't have to listen to my bad English stuttering. So if you want to listen to some pleasant English voices, then check out her channel. So she also had a video similar to mine about dog breeding being animal abuse, and she referred to that documentary, Pedigree Dogs Exposed, so you can easily find it. It's for instance on documentaryheaven.com, and it's a 1-hour documentary by the BBC, so you can really not say that this is just some ignorant YouTube amateur like me. It's by the BBC, so one of the most respected broadcasting companies in the world, especially back then. And that documentary is just absolutely insane. I mean, I was already shocked, like in the first 10 minutes of the documentary. I had no idea how appalling this problem actually really is. And if I had known that 3 days ago, then I would have included that in my last video, but I'll just do this kind of postscriptum now. Really check out that documentary. It's just, if you really want to see something absolutely appalling, and if you want to see how absolutely sick and perverted dog owners are, especially those dog breeders that are so obsessed with pedigree dogs, then have a look at that documentary. It just shows everything that we have been complaining about in action. Like, you see the anecdotal evidence, you see the absolute delusion, you see the denial of facts, be it biological facts, statistical facts, and even sick dogs in front of their eyes. They're just going to deny that this is actually happening. It is just unbelievable. These people are sick, and there's just no other thing you can say. These people are absolutely sick. And the documentary itself, of course, focuses on Britain, on the UK, and there is a particular pedigree dog club there, which is called the Kennel Club, that has been around for 150 years now. And this club is basically kind of the authority, and they make the rules, in the UK on how you have to breed pedigree dogs and what pedigree dogs have to look like. And the rules that they came up with are just absolutely evil. I mean, there's nothing else you can say. They're just evil. They're sick, twisted, and evil. And in the documentary, they're showing dogs, for instance, that have epilepsy. I think it's bulldogs. And that sight is just so gut-wrenching. Like, epilepsy in humans is already a very scary thing. But I mean, you see those dogs there, the unbelievable suffering and just the agony they are in is just absolutely insane. And yeah, people, the dog owners, I mean, I wouldn't say they don't care. I mean, they certainly did care in the documentary, but you also see in the documentary how, like, I'm sorry to say it, but I mean, I do feel sorry for the dog owners because they're just going to suffer with the dogs for years. But on the other hand, these dog owners, if they just informed themselves a little bit, as we said in the last video, just look at that unbelievable list of diseases that these pedigree dogs, those purebred dogs, are going to have. Look, if you inform yourself about that and you still think that it would be a good idea, well, then I'm sorry, then I'm having really a hard time to then actually feel sorry for you. I mean, I really do. It's you just inform yourself and educate yourself before you get a dog, and then you can save yourself all the trouble. And you just see in the documentary as well that just many of these dog owners are just they're just simpletons. They're just very simple-minded people, very one-dimensional people that are just really just not the brightest candles on the cake. You just see it. I'm sorry to say it. I know it's abrasive, and I know it sounds really arrogant, but I mean, yeah, forgive me for it, but watch the documentary and you'll see it. You'll see it. And then don't deny it. Yeah. So you see dogs with epilepsy, which is already it's just appalling, and it's so disturbing to see that all that suffering. But the worst in the documentary were was a dog breed called Cavaliers. I don't know what they exactly are, but they're shown extensively in the documentary. Now they are prone to a particular disease, and I just forgot the name of the disease, but what it basically does is that they were bred to have really small, kind of smooshed in faces and really small skulls, and their skull is basically too small for their brain. So the brain has just no can just not doesn't have any space, and the brain grows more than the skull does, and then after a certain age the brain gets so compressed that these dogs are just they develop all these insane compulsive behaviors that just get worse and worse. And so they're just, for instance, they're scratching themselves compulsively all the time, and as time progresses, their agony is just getting worse and worse, because I mean their brain, it's just like having an absolutely numbing headache all the time, that is just getting worse. With every week it's just getting worse, and at some point they're in such agony that they can't walk anymore. They showed one dog that is in kind of the final stages of this disease, and that dog was just lying on its back, absolutely frantically moving its legs, and it was just crying and yelling in agony. It couldn't do anything anymore. It couldn't eat anymore. It couldn't sleep anymore. It couldn't walk anymore. It was just in such agony that it was just screaming nonstop, and it had to be put down. Yeah, of course. And still, you had owners that still refused to put the dogs down and just were just pulling them along, although they saw every day that they were in such agony and they were just suffering and nothing else. But they still refused to put them down. They still refused to put them down. And there you see exactly that these dog owners, they don't give a damn about the dogs. They don't give a damn about the dogs. They only care about themselves. And then they tell themselves that they do all that because they love their dogs. I mean, it's such unbelievable nonsense. And like this whole thing is just so perverted. I mean, I don't even know how to describe it. You just have to watch this documentary. It's just insane. And it's full of these kind of old British ladies that are apparently, they're usually like upper class or at least upper middle class, all those breeders, and they're just so unbelievably arrogant and so snobbish and apparently so bored. They're so bored that it's their great hobby to breed some particularly sick dog breed, and they just defend all the genetic diseases and all the deformities that these dogs have. I mean, these people are sick. These people are just absolutely sick, and it just shows what actually happens to people that live in these unbelievably spoiled, affluent conditions, that it really damages people's spirit and people's minds. This sick affluence that these people live in, you see how they are changed and corrupted by this lifestyle. It's just appalling, really. But again, I'm just rambling. Watch the documentary if you want to. It really is worth the time. And yeah, you will see loads of things confirmed that we have been talking about here. Now, thanks for listening to this, guys. You take care and have a relaxed evening. Bye bye.